So in this video I will cover Edexcel IAL IT Unit 2 10 June 2019 question paper. So this question paper and this unit 2 is mostly covered with coding that include HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So from my perspective I will try to give you a basic, go with the basic flow of the coding and try to give you an explanation. But during the time when I will explain, I will also tell you some of the chapter name. That one you have to learn right before you come to this question paper. So it will be easier for you to go with the basic things and then you can see the video. Because for the coding, when it comes to the question paper, they are actually mixing all the chapters and based on they are taking the exam, right? So it's not a theory part. So when I will explain, during that time I can't able to go that much basic, so maybe I will try to go that much basic. So that's why I will give you the chapter name where you should go and revise that chapter. So continue with the question number 1, which is like web pages can use meta tag. Figure 1 shows HTML code that contains a meta tag. So this is the code they give you, and the figure 1 explain the purpose of the HTML code on line 4, right? So before goes with the answer, like before writing the answer, just try to go with the code and try to understand what they're actually trying to say you, right? So if we go to the code of the line 4, we can able to see that there is one of the function which is a refresh, and they provide a URL and the content which is a 5. So what does it mean? So that means something, it will be refresh and there is a specific time based on that things this particular website it will go. Yeah? So the answer for this question will be it redirect to another URL, it redirect to this URL after a set amount of time. So we can write it like this way. It redirects to URL. Which URL? This one, right? So you just write the name of the URL, which is http and then www.nasa.gov. This URL after a set amount of which is after 5 seconds, right? So they already mentioned the time as well. You just write it that way. Or you can also write it like that way, like it will refreshes the website after 5 seconds. That one is also correct. Now we'll move to question number 2b. Sorry, that one is figure 2 shows how a list of facts about Pluto should be displayed in a browser. The HTML code should underline the heading all about Pluto. So it is already underlined, right? Make an alternate lines italic. So make alternate lines italic. So this is there are 8 planets in our solar systems and then some scientific. Okay, so this is all about Pluto. The page does not display as intended because there are 2 errors. So it should be like this way, but there is 2 error in the HTML code. Open file question 1b in a browser to identify the errors. Open the file in your editor, amend the code to correct the 2 error. So that means they provide us some unfinished code, or they provide us the code, but that one is they like mistakenly did some of the error, suppose. So we have to identify what will be the error. So for that thing I will open my code tool, and this one is question 1b, right? So question 1b, this one. So for that thing, so they say that we have to create similar like that, which is a question 01b finish.html. So suppose I just want to copy this one and then I will control V. I will paste it, right? So now what I'll do, sorry, maybe question 01b finish.html, right? So rename. So why we're copying this file? Because if something happened to this code, we can able to take it, or we can able to copy from here, right? So finished. Is it done? Try to match the name. Okay, so they uses a capital letter, so it will be better to just try to follow whatever they did. Okay, so done. Now we'll go with the question. This is the question. And okay, so first of all, what we will do, we will run this one on our browser. Okay, so in the browser you can able to see like this. So when you able to see like this, so what will be the issue? This one, I actually don't understand anything from here, right? So now we can go to the code. So inside the code we can able to see this is the, okay, so they have the u tag here, end tag here, but they don't have any opening tag here. So 2 error, we already get 1 error. Okay, so that one is done. So now it's underlined, right? Now inside the question they said there is 2 error. We already found the 1 error. What can be the other error? It mostly the error is came with the the tag. So just try to carefully go with the tag ending. This is, we have the starting tag, but we don't have any ending tag for that thing. So for these things we have to provide a ending tag, right? For my one it's automatically came, so that's why when I try to copy it automatically give me the starting and ending tag, right? So don't confuse about that thing. So we already find the 2 error, and this is the end of question number 2. So if we go to the view, you can able to see it looks like this, right? So there was 2 error. One is there's no heading starting tag for underline, and there was no closing tag for italic, right? So we already completed then question number 1, question figure 2, question number B, sorry, 1B. Now we'll move to question C. The web page shown in figure 2 need to have an audio clip added, right? The code must include an HTML audio tag. So for these things, what you will do, search on the Google about HTML5 audio and video tag, right? Try to learn and understand like what is the tag they're using for audio, what is the tag they're using for video, and what is the type, like file type they're using. Like they already give you one of the file type, which is a space.mp3, right? So what about when it's a video, what about the file type for the video? Try to go with the internet and try to find out, or maybe in your notes. So the web page shown in figure 2 needs to have an audio clip added. The code must include an HTML5 audio tag. Okay, so they added a audio tag. Refer to the audio file space.mp3 and then ensure controls are visible. So you have to add the controls. Write the HTML code to insert the audio. So here you have to write the code. So but in easier way, what I will do, I will try to do the code here first, and then I will see is it exactly working perfectly or not. Okay, so suppose what I'll do, because this one is finished, right? I just don't want to bother this one, but I just want to copy this one. I want to copy this one, and I just want to paste it here. Okay, and then I just want to put the name, which is dummy. Okay, dummy means I just want to use it as a dummy purpose. So now what I will do, they tell me that I have to add a audio clip, right? So suppose inside the body I will add a audio clip here, right? So audio have a source and then the starting tag and the end tag. Okay, so this is the audio structure. sorry, it's not the audio structure. So this is the audio structure, okay? And we have to include the source inside the audio. So we'll include the source inside the audio. It will be like this. Inside the source, we have an option for source src that we have in our images, right? So here we will put our image name, and then we also have to provide a type, like what type it is, right? Is it a mp4, is it a audio, is it a video, whatever. Each type of file type has a each type of file has a type. So for that thing we have to add the type, and then like this, okay? So for the source one, they already mentioned here that the source is space .mp3, right? So here we will add space .mp3, okay? And what will be the type? When it comes to mp3, it is obviously audio, right? It is audio. And when it's come to mp3, the type is always mpeg. Remember these things, okay? But when it's come to the video, it should be mp4. Now this one is, suppose this one is done. If I want to see it, because I already run this, oh no, I didn't run. I will close my port, and then when I will start this on my there is anything? No, nothing is there, right? I can't able to say anything. So suppose why I can't able to say anything, because there is nothing for the mp space.mp3, right? The file is not there. Suppose if I add the control here, can I able to say anything? No. So okay, so as an example purpose, I want to include one of the audio file here and then show you how it's work with this type of audio file, okay? So it will be easier for you to understand. Now I add a dummy mp3 for space so that I can show you how we can get the audio, right? So if we run it, you can able to see this is the audio. But somehow if I just remove this control, suppose that during that time you will not able to see anything. So that's why what we have to do, we have to add the controls here. When you have the controls tag there, attribute, you can able to play the music, okay? So this is the dummy things. So that's why I just want to remove everything, the space and everything. I want to remove it. So this is the final code that we have to write in our HTML, right? So use this space to write your codes. So for that thing, we have to now write the code here. So what we will do, we have to write the tag. We already say it, right, in our code, how it looks like. Now we will work on it. So first of all, there is a tag for audio, and I have to add the controls, right? Then there will be another tag for source, equals to space.mp3. I hope you can able to understand, right? Try to write it clearly from your side, because from my side you already know how to write the answer. So it should be type equals to audio slash mpe sorry, that one should be okay. Can do one thing, maybe should be audio, then there will be a control C will be in a small letter, okay? And there is a end tag for audio, and then we have a tag for source, space.mp3, right? Then there is a type which is audio /mpeg. So try to write your code in these boxes. Don't follow like me. So this is the end of the question. Now, web page can contain external content. Explain how a tag can be used to add embedded content to a web page. You must include the name of the tag in your answer. So what does it mean by embedded? Embedded means if you want to take or if you want to show other page in your website. Suppose this was my dummy website, right? I already added as a dummy website. So now if I want to add another maybe I want to add another embedded means I want to add another website into my website, right? As a portion, maybe I will set the width and height, and based on that I will show some of the suppose if I go to the website, maybe where I will go, maybe I will go to the okay, if I go to Netflix, suppose, so this is the Netflix page, right? So I want to show it into this one here. How to do that things? Suppose this is the link. So what I will do, for that thing we use iframe. Remember, for that thing we use iframe. You can go to your notes and understand how the iframe is work, right? So then we will add the source here. So this is the source, right? So I will copy the source and then I will add it here. This is my source. Now if I run this one again, this is the thing, because they say that Netflix is refused to connect. Okay, sometimes some of the website won't give us the permission to show their website in other website. Maybe we can use google.com. Suppose google.com. Suppose this one I want to show it here. So what I'll do, I'll change it. I will change this one to google.com and then see is the Google will give me the permission. Also Google also don't give me the permission. Refuse to connect. Okay, so maybe we can try to show W3 schools. This one also refused to connect. So the thing is that basically what happened when we use the iframe, we can able to show the other website in this portion. Okay. Because each and every time they are not giving me the permission, if each and every website, so maybe we can use our own website, so which is when I add the Edexcel easy, you can see this is the website you can able to see. So this is actually totally a different website. Okay, this one is totally a different website, but what I did by using the iframe, I can able to add it in my HTML code, right? So that is the meaning of a embedded thing. So I think and I hope that you understand. So for these things you don't need to do the coding, you have to write the answer here. So I just give you an explanation about how it works actually. So we can use the iframe tag. The iframe tag, because they said include the tag name, right? Iframe tag can be used to embed another document in a fixed size frame, right? Fixed size means you can able to provide the width and height. So this is the answer for this question. So this one is done. Now we'll move to question number C, which is like CSS is used by browsers to format web page content. A web page contains text that need to be formatted. So paragraph text need to be right aligned with a padding of 20 pixels. Open file question 2a HTML in your page editor. Amend the code. Okay, so what we have to do, because we don't need the dummy one, we will work with the dummy one in future as well. So I just remain it like that way, and after I complete the tutorial, during that time I will delete it. Okay, so what I'll do, 2a, right? So this one is the 2a. So again I will copy this one from here and then I will paste it here. So when I will paste it here, during that time I will rename it and finish.html, right? So I have the 2a as well and 2f finish.html as well. So what they said, the question was like, the heading need to be white and 50 pixels. So this one we have to follow. The heading need to be white and 50 pixels. So if we go here, this one is the heading, right? So if I want to run this one and see how it looks like on browser, this is the one. Now it looks like in the browser is like this way. So the heading must be white and 50 pixel, right? So we have to identify what is the tag name, which is h1, and they already provide the style, right? So inside the style we will write the code of the style. So we will add the tag name. So we can directly take the h1 here. So h1, right? We will not add any full stop or hash, because full stop is for class and hash is for ID. When it comes to tag name, we can just directly add the tag name inside the style. And then they say the color should be white. So the code for the color will be color white, right? And the font size is 50 pixels. So we have to use font size, which is 50 pixel. So then if I go to the browser, we can able to see it. So this one is quite easier. Now the next question, they're saying paragraph text need to be right aligned with a padding of 20 pixels. That means we have to add a padding and there will be a text align, which will be the right? So what we'll do, the paragraph, this one, right? So we will take the tag name, which is p. So because we have only one p tag, so that's why we don't need to add any class or ID name. We can directly take the p name here. So we'll take the p and then we will add, which was text align should be right. And then text align should be right, and then padding should be 20 pixel, right? So when it comes to the padding, it should be 20 pixels. So when you go here, you can able to see this one. Now it's a right align. It's the right align. And they're using 20 pixel. How to see these things? You can go to the browser and right click on the inspect. When you inspect it, you can able to see, click here, you can able to see the style, right? It is right align and the padding 20 is applied to it. So if I remove the padding, it will be like this. Okay, so this is the end of question 2a as well. So we already completed this part as well. So yeah, so finish it, right? So we already finished these things, done. So it was quite easy. Then we'll move to question number B. A web page contain images. So the image should fade out to 50% when the mouse cursor hover over them. So open file this one in page in your editor, add CSS code to enable the fade effect. So that means we have to add the fade effect and save your amended code. Okay, so what we will do, 2b, right? So where is the 2b? This is the 2b. This is the 2b. So we will copy it here and then we will copy this one, this in this folder. So just paste it here. So then First of all, click here, okay, point out here, and then right click, then paste it here. So when I will paste it here, this one I will click and rename. So what will be the name? The name should be finish.html. Okay, so now I will open this one. I just close all this. So this one is the 2b. So for this one, try to go to your notes and go through how we can provide the hover and opacity for fading purposes. Okay, so they say that open the image should fade out to 50% when the mouse cursor hover over them. So first of all, we will run this one in the browser. So this is the images, right? So now if I add the hover, nothing happened. So what I'll do, because they provide us the style here, right? And it's the body, it's the name, and all the images are there. So what I will to do, they didn't mention that, they didn't mention about a specific image, right? They said all, they just says image, so that means it should be all. So for that thing, I don't need to add any class or ID to differentiate it. So what can I do? I just only take the image tag, right, for targeting the elements. Maybe I can take the image tag, and then what I'll do, I will add the opacity. So opacity, which is fade, right? They said fade to, maybe I can use 0.5. But here, how we can use the hover? We can use that one by using colon, and then we can able to use hover here. Okay, so this is the format for the hover. Okay, now when I will save this one, I will go here. See, now the hover effect is working. So if I go to the question again, try to read this question 2 or 3 times, right? So the image should fade out 50%. So that's why I use 0.5, because yes, 50. Then when the mouse cursor hover over them, enable the fade effect. Yeah, so that's one is done. Now we'll move to question C. So what does it say? Figure 3 include the CSS code used to control the appearance of a shape of a web page. So this is the appearance of a shape. Okay, then for these things, try to learn about the animation chapter. In this question, they provide us a code. So if we go through the code, we can able to see that there's a meta tag, and then they have a title, they have a style, and they didn't provide any HTML code, right? So inside the head, they provide the CSS code as well. So describe how the CSS code shown in figure 3 works with HTML code to position the shape. You must include the line number in your description. Okay, so if we go to the line, you can able to see that this is the rectangle, right? They have a width, they have a height, and they also have, right, background color, which is red, and they created a border, which is a 2-pixel solid black. So transformation is a part of a type of animation, right? It falls under animation chapter. So where they're transforming the box to 90 degree. So what happened if my box is like this one, this way, it just transform it to, suppose, this way. Okay, so they are just rotating to 90 degree. So try to Google, or maybe go through your notes and learn about what is the difference between rotate Z, X, and Y, right? So in this question they mention about Z. So what we have to do, we have to go through the lines and we have to tell them what each and a specific coder doing. So first of all, from line 7 to line 11, from line 7 to line 11, or you can also add line 12, because this is the first bracket, 12 bracket, right? So in this line, they are specifying the properties of a rectangle, right, or the shape. So we can add, because this one is a 2 marks, so that's how we have to line 7 to 11 specify the properties of the box, right? Or maybe you can add properties of the rectangle. That one is correct. Then what this line doing? Line 14 to 15. Line 14 to 15 applies a CSS transform along the z-axis, right? Rotating the original shape 90 degrees. That's it. So this is the answer for 2 marks. So I hope you understand. So the z-axis, because we have x-axis, y-axis is like this, right? And x-axis is like this. When it comes to z-axis, it is always perpendicular to y-axis and perpendicular to z-axis as well. So try to research about how the z-axis works. Then describe the difference between a parent and a child. So what is the difference between a parent and a child? So suppose when we create any of the code, right? Suppose if we add a div here, this is the div tag and this is a end tag. Inside the div tag, if I add the p, so this tag is considered as a child and this tag is considered as a parents. Okay, so what happened if we are trying to provide any of the code to parents, the child will get it automatically. But there is also some specification, but most of the code they can able to get it, right? Whereas if you put the style for the child, it will not inherited by the parents. So whatever the style will put here, this one will be, the child will get it, right? But child can able to override them, right? Sometimes they can able to override them. So if they're not overriding them, then they will get it the same thing. But still, if they override, still they are getting the same thing, but they can able to override it. So the answer for this question is the property of a parent inherited by the child element unless the child overrides them. So I want to give you one of the example based on this question, which is like if we go with the dummy one again. Okay, so here if you think what will be the parents, this one is considered as a parents, L list, this one is the child, right? So suppose I want to add a hello world here. Okay, h2 is the parents, this one is considered as a child. But that one is not the tag, actually that one is a underline tag. Sorry, that one is a tag but underline. Okay, so what I will do, I will create a div here. Okay, and then inside the div I want to add a p tag, and here I want to add hello world, this one. So when I will run this one, you can able to see there's a hello world, right? Now what I'll do, I will provide the style to div. So inside the head I will add a style. Suppose I will add a style tag, and then I will add the div tag. Okay, and then what we'll do, I will put the color, which is a red. So when I will add the color, because I'm adding the color to the div, right? But see, the parents p is can get it automatically. So p is getting the red color. But how we can override it? Suppose if I add, now if I add p here, and then because p is only 1, right, compared to this one, so I can use the p tag. And then I want to add the color, which is a blue. And this way I can override it. So during that time, I'm overriding the color of the parents. So this is the example of how we can override it, right? Okay. So this is the end of question 2, I think. Yes, now we will move with JavaScript part. So in unit 2, JavaScript is a bit tricky, but it all like it's just depend on the practice. If you practice continuously, especially for loop, if else, array, this is considered as one of the hardest part. If you go through it, maybe it will be easier for you. So JavaScript provide interactivity for web pages. Figure 4 shows the JavaScript used to calculate the cost of sending a parcel. So they are sending a parcel, so you have to calculate the cost for that thing. So var width. So var width means this is a variable, right? This is a variable, and they are enter the parcel weight in kg. So prompt. So what this is doing, they're asking the user to enter the parcel weight in kg. And var length, this one also asking the user to enter the parcel length in centimeter. Then there is some of the logic. So they say like describe how the code works using this input value. So if someone input this two, how it will work. So if we go to the code, we can see if weight is less than 1 and length is less than equal to 20. So when it comes to an AND operator, for these things, go through the operator chapter and try to understand how the operator works. So when it comes to AND, that means both need to be true. Both need to be true. Okay, but when it comes to OR, during time, only one need to be true. So that means we have AND, so that means the weight must be less than 1 as well as the length must be 20 or less than 20, right? So because they provide less than equal, so that it will take 20 as well, so 20 and less than 20, then this message will came up. Else if, so this is the one of the thing which is like when we have more than 2 requirement, during that most of the time we use if else if we have 2 requirement. But when it comes to 3, we use if, else if, and else. Okay, if we have 4, during that time we use if, else if, and else, right? At the last you have to use the else. So this is the format of a if, else if, and else selection. This one is called selection. So else if weight is less than 1 but length can be greater than 20, then this one will come, right? Else this one will come. If this one will not go, then at last it will follow this message. So now if we consider about the weight, which is a less than 1, so this one also true, this one also true, right? But if you consider the length is 20, so they said in this one, they said it should be greater than 20, so it's at 20. But this one they said equal and less than 20, right? So I think this one both are true. Weight is less than 1 and length is less than and equal to 20. So what will be the masses they will show us? Describe how the code works with this input value. So here the input weight and height are checked against the first condition. The result of this check is true, right? So it will print the first alert. So we can write the input weight and height are checked against the first condition. So So the result of first, so the result, or maybe you can write so the alert, so the first alert will print pop up, right? So the first alert will pop up. Where's the eraser? So the first pop up. Okay, so that one is done. I hope you understand. Now we'll move to the next one, which is open the file question 3b HTML in your editor. The JavaScript codes create a drop-down list that displays a small image when an option is selected. Okay, so when the small image is clicked, a large version of that image should be displayed. Displayed the current browser window, the JavaScript code is incomplete. This means that the large version of the image is not displayed. So it's not displayed. Okay, so we will go with the code first. Question 3b, right? This one. So what we'll do, again, we will copy this one and click here. Now paste it here. Paste it here. So this one will came here, and now rename this thing. So when you will rename it, what will be the name for this one? Finished. Okay. Okay. So now we'll work here. Question 3b. So for the JavaScript, this one is a bit tricky. So try to understand the code first. Okay. What does each and every code is saying, and then some of the code, they are actually the same code, they are just providing a different meaning. That's it. So if we run this code, how it looks like, suppose if I run this one, it will be like this, right? So what happened, this one is also working, the drop down is also working, but they are saying when I will click, it will become larger. So if you look at here, this one is the script. Script means this is the portion of a JavaScript code, right? So when you use CSS, during that time we use style, but for the JavaScript purpose we use script tag, and this is the body, and they have the select ID, right? The select, that one is used for the JavaScript, so not this one is used for the drop down, right? And then the image is like this one. So this is one of the function. Why we use the function? We use function so that we can able to reuse the code and it will be easier it is also readable as well, right? So select image, where the select image is called here, this one is called here, right? So so when I'm clicking on the particular drop down, this function is working on, and then they're selecting each of the images, right? So how this particular code is working? So they are creating a variable doc and pick, right? So what does it mean by variable? In simple word, if I say variable means they are creating a, suppose they are creating a box where they're storing the value. So get element by ID means they are trying to target a particular elements by using the ID. So if we think about the image, this one is the ID, right? So they are targeting this particular drop down by using the ID. So they are assigning this particular drop down inside the doc variable by calling this element, right? Get element by ID. Then when it comes to the pick one, get element, the same thing. So what is the meaning of the picture? So if we go to the pictures, you can able to see this is the pictures, right? So they are trying to add all the pictures, image ID pictures, right? So they are trying to add all the pictures in the pick variable. Then pick equals to source equals to dot equals to value. That means when it comes to value, this, right? So one equal means they are assigning, right? So we have a three type of equal: 1 equal, 2 equal, and 3 equal. Try to find out that the difference between these things. So when it comes to 1 assign, they are assigning the value to it. So suppose if I add x equals to 3, right? If I add x equals to 3, this means I am assigning this 3 to this variable, right? I am storing this 3 inside this variable, which is a x, and the variable is considered as a type of box where we store the data, suppose. So what I did, pic dot source, right? This is the source and this is the ID of the picture. So what they're doing, they're targeting this image whole tag inside this pic variable, and pic dot source, that's why they're able to write the pic dot source. So here, whatever the ID, that whatever the image that were selected from the drop down, this value is assigning to this, right? So pic source equals to doc dot value. Inside the doc we have this one. So whatever the value we're selecting, this value is assigning to this source. This code is meant by that thing. Then pic.style.width. So I think you already know we can able to change the style of the CSS by using JavaScript. So for that thing we can use style and then width, which 200 pixel. Already explained the meaning of this code. Now we'll move to enlarge code, right? So now this is the on-click function. On-click means when you click, this function will run. So what we have to do for these things, when you will click on the pictures, it will become larger, right? So how we can able to target the pics? We can able to target the pics because they already gave us the, right, this way. This way we can get the pictures. And the comment they also say that get the picture. So each and every of your code, try to put the comment, right? So what happened, it will be easier for the examiner to understand that you are actually understanding the code. So var pic equals to document dot get element by id and a pictures get the picture element. Okay, now what we will do, this is the style, right? So what we'll do, we just copy it and paste it here. So pic.style, and now we have to make it larger. So it's up to you, you can use any of the size, but in Marskin they have 600, so I use the 600 one. It's done. So when I will go and then I click the code, it becomes larger now. See, everything is working. Okay, so I hope you understand how this things is working. So this is the comment, set the width of the picture. So I want to add it here as well. So my code will be more readable, right? So now we will move to the next question. So open the file question 3c HTML in your editor. They are saying the JavaScript code contain an incomplete function that should display 4 images in the slideshow. So slideshow is also inside our syllabus specification. You can go through how we can work with the JavaScript slideshow and drop down as well, right? That we already completed in question 3b. So the user should be able to use view each image by clicking the button under the images. Amend the code to complete the HTML and move the move function. The code should display only one image at a time, have a forward and backward button. Forward button, right? When it click, it shows the next image, the first image after viewing the fourth image. So that means first image after viewing the fourth image. Okay, so have a back button. When clicked, it shows the previous image, the fourth image after viewing the first image. So what does it mean actually? So sometimes for the code we have to came up with the imaginary, pictures or the understanding how the things is working. So they are telling that there will be a 4 pictures, right? 4 pictures, and there will be a back button, there will be a forward button. So each picture will be shown at a time. So suppose when I click this one first time, this one will be shown as a default. When I click this one first time, it will go here, and I click this one, it will go here, then I click this one, it will go here, right? 4th number picture. Then if I click it here, it will move from 4 to 1. That one is they're saying the first image after viewing the fourth image, right, for the forward button. And when it comes to the back button, the fourth image after viewing the first image. So when it comes to the back button, suppose it will come here, come here, come here, and then one. When I click the back, it will show this one. So it will be rotating, right? It will be this will be this way. So this way we have to implement the code. Now we will go with the code, which is a question 3C HTML. So where is the question 3C? Yeah, this one is the question 3C. I'll just cut this one. Again, I will right click, copy, and then right click, paste it here. Okay, so when you will paste it here, you will get this one, and then I will rename it. When I will rename it, I will change the name to finish. So finished is done. So now we will go through the code and try to understand how this each of the line is trying to say. Okay, so now I will run the code, how it looks like on the browser. So this is the browser. They already included a next button, but it is not working, and they are showing all the images, right? But they mention that each image should be shown at a time, but this is not working that way. So if we go to the code, we can able to see how it's working. So this is the header, right? And this is the 4 image, and this is the button. So click move forward. Okay, so forward, which one they're targeting? Forward. For this one, you can write Ctrl+C+F. It will go to your search option. So from here you can able to see. Okay, so this is the direction they're trying to identify. Okay, so slide index 0, first slide 0. Set the first slide to 0. Set the initial slide to the first slide 0. Okay, then where slideshow equals to document.getElement by class name, which is a slide. This one we are targeting the element by using the slide class name. So if you go through, you can able to see in the HTML maybe. Yeah, this is the HTML code, right? So inside the HTML code, this class have a name, which is a slide. So they are targeting each of the images inside the slideshow. They are taking each of the images and store inside the slideshow. Okay, now they're saying that last slide equals to slideshow.length -1. So what does it mean? This one mean set the initial slide to the first slide. So it should be, so that means if we go to this one, we can able to see that this one is considered as a 0, right? This one is 1, this one is 2, this one is 3. So when it shows that first slide is 0, that means it will point us to the first pictures, right? And this one is the third pictures. But how we can able to identify that the last pictures? So for that thing, we will write a code which is like, we are assigning the element, which is the slide elements. This is all the images inside the slideshow, right? So last slide, how we can able to identify or calculate the last slide? So what we will do, we will calculate slideshows.length. Slideshow.length. So when we calculate slideshow.length, length, it will give us the answer, which is a 4. But if you consider about the index position, which is start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So this one is considered, they are considering it as a 3. But we're calculating it with 4, right? Length. Then what we will do, we will slide show.length -1, it will become 3, right? Because this is the way we can able to catch the last slide. So that's why we did this one. What we did, where last slide equals to slideshow, whatever the slider inside this slideshow, I will take the last one. So set the last slide, taking into account slideshow elements are 0 to 3. So index values start from 0 to 1 when we take the class name. Remember one thing, when we take the value by using a class name, it comes as a 0 1 2 3 4. They're storing the variable like that way. So that's why, suppose if you want to see what is the example for this one, you can add console log, right? This is a debugging tool. You can add the slideshow here. So when I will add the slideshow here, this one is not in your answer purpose. I just want to give you one of the example, right? So when I'm storing all the images inside the slideshow, how it looks like. So we will go to the inspect and then we will go to the console. So when you'll go to the console, there is one error here. Okay, because we are not completing the code, that's why they're showing one of the error here. So suppose maybe I just want to remove all the things in a function. Yes, suppose now I want to show you, see, this is the HTML collection, the slideshow. You can able to see all the pictures are here, 0 1 2 3 4. So it is started with 0, right? 1 2 3 4, and the length is 4, right? So how we can able to catch the last one? We can calculate the length and then minus 1. Okay, so I'll revert back to the code and then I remove the console log. So research about the console log also have in your syllabus. You have to also understand how the console log is working. Okay, so then we understand that by when we use the class name, during that time they are inputting all the data by using an index value, which is 1 0 1 2 and 3. So this is all the images that is storing inside the slideshow. Now how we are calculating the last slide? We are calculating the last slide by minus 1, right? Now we will start the function. So this is the show slide, right? The function is calling here. So this one is calling for the function calling. You can go through the topic, which is the direct, invoke, and then self calling. So this one is a invoke calling, invoke function calling. So here we are calling the function by assigning the parameters, sorry, assigning the argument. Okay, this one is considered as a parameter. So this is the first slide. So slideshow will, when it will load this function, it will provide the first slide. So first slide will be 0. So when it will be 0, during that time it will show us the first picture, right? So it is showing the first pictures. So function slideshow, this is the parameter, and providing the argument, which is the first slide here. So here the for loop is working. How the for loop is working? It will start from 0, then it will check the last slide must be less than equal to the count, right? Then the count will be plus plus. So it will be increases, and based on that the for loop will be looping, right? So slideshow count. So if the count is 0, it should be 0 dot style dot display none. So when it display none, so it should be invisible. It will not display anything. Okay, so then slideshow, so slide number dot style. So whatever the slide number will be putting here, it will become block. Block means it will be visible. Okay, so for this one, try to identify how the for loop is working. So for loop is here starting from 0, and it is checking the last slide. Where is the last slide? Last slide is 3, right? Slideshow dot length minus 1, so which is 3. So that means the count is 0 and last slide is 3. Is it greater than? Yes, it matched the requirement. Then count will be plus plus, so it will be plus 1. So first it will be 0, then count is less than last slide, yes, then it will go here, so which will be 0, then display none. then again it will be plus plus, right? When it will be plus plus, during that time it is 1, right? So how it will work actually? So first time it will be count 0. It is less than, yes, so count plus plus is 1. So slideshow it will count 1 and then display none. So it will be invisible now. So this way when it will go again, because the count is still 1, right? So it's now is count 1. 1 is less than slideshow, count plus plus 2, it's a 2. So again count is 3. Now count is 3. Is it less than? No, right? Is it less than equal to? Yeah, it's equal to. So it will go here 3. It will be none. Now when it becomes 4, when it's plus plus, it will become 4. So when it will become 4, during that time this one is bigger than this. Now that particular loop will stop running. So loop through the slideshow and hide all images, and this one will now display the correct slide. So this one is the move direction. So you have to provide the right and move direction. Okay. They said add a back button here, and then now we'll understand how the slideshow is working. Now we'll go to the move direction. So for the move direction, if the current slide in the last slide and next button clicked, slide index is set to first slide. So it was that the same thing that we mentioned already. When it comes to the last one, it will go to the first slide. So what happened? The slide index equals to last slide. So last slide will be 3, right? When the slide index equals to last slide and direction equals to forward. So now if you check this one, they have a 3 equal. What does it mean by 3 equal? When it comes to 1 equal, it is assigning the value, right? x3, 3 is assigning to x. When it comes to 2 equal, it is checking is the value of x is 3. If it's 3, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. When it will come with 3 equal, it will check that is the value of x is 3, as well as it will check the data type as well. Like if the value of the x is 3, but here it is providing the string, then it will give you the answer false because the data type is different. Here the data type is a string, but this one the data type is number. So here they are also checking is the value of the x is 3 or not, but as well as they are checking the data types as well. So this is the difference between these 3 types of equal. So now if we move to this one, 3 equal, that means they are trying to say that they are trying to checking the is the slide index is 3, which is the last slide, right? Is it 3? And also the data type is 3, same or not. And forward and direction equals to forward. Is the direction to forward? If the direction is forward, if two things is matches, then they are transferring the slide index to the first slide. So first slide is 0. First slide is 0, right? So that means it is going to the first, it is going to our first pictures now. Now they're saying add your code here. We have to add the code here. Check current slide is first slide and back button clicked. See slide index to set slide index to last slide. So we have to set the, here we have to check. They already provide, there is one of the thing that we have to add, which is a check. Check current slide is first slide and back button clicked, right? So current slide is last slide. So what is the current slide? This one is the current slide, right? Slide index is considered as a set the initial side of the first slide. So what we will add here, we will remove this code. Okay, we will remove the code later. First of all, we will try to understand based on the set the current slide is first slide, right? So here we will add slide index slide index equals to, this one is the last slide, so this one should be the first slide. Equals to we will add first slide, right? The same way like this one, and the direction back button is clicked, right? So the direction should be backward. But if you look carefully, we have a forward, right? We have a forward here, but we don't have anything related to back backward. Add a back button and click the move function. So we have to add a, just copy these things and paste it here. Instead of move forward, we will add backward. Backward, okay? And then here we will add back. So this is the backward. So we will click this class name and we will add direction backward. Okay, so I add the direction backward. So I follow this one. Current slide is first slide and back button is clicked. I add the same thing. Now we will move to the question. Set slide index to last slide. So we have to set the slide index to last slide. This is the last slide, right? So but here we have to assign it. They are not checking it. So what we have to do, we just copy this one. This one is the first slide, so we just copy and then paste. This one is shifting to the first slide. Now we are shifting it to the last slide. Save it. Now else if next button is clicked, increment the slide button to move forward. Okay, else if next button is clicked, so that means when next button will be clicked, obviously the direction will be moved to forward. So you will add this one. So something is quite easily to understand what they're trying to say. Okay, so this one forward, right? Because next button is clicked. Increment the slide index to move forward. If you don't know how to do the increment, you can able to see, otherwise move backward by decrementing slide. So this is the part of the decrement. It is decreases the value of the slideshow. So when it comes to increment, instead of minus minus, we can do the opposite one, which is a plus plus. And then when I will save, it is save the code, right? So now slideshow, the slide end of this one. Here also we are invoking the function. Here also invoking the function. Here also we are invoking the function. Now if I go to my code, you can able to see there is a two button now. One is a next, one is a back. So when I click next and then back, so it's working. So I hope you understand how the code is working here. So we will move to the next question now. So this is the end of this question. Okay, so the document object model DOM allows JavaScript to change the content of a web page. One feature of the DOM is that it provides a map to the web page that can be read by JavaScript. State two other features of the DOM. So what can be the two other features? First of all, we'll try to understand what is the meaning of DOM. DOM is actually whatever we're seeing inside the viewport, that one is considered as DOM. And whatever we're trying to write inside the HTML body, that one is visible inside our DOM, right? So we can use the JavaScript to modify the appearance of the DOM. This is one of the things. So we can write, for the first point, we can write the DOM enables JavaScript to modify the appearance of a web page right, and access object method. Suppose, and the question number 2 will be not only with JavaScript we can changes the DOM properties, we can also use PyScript as well. So that's why DOM is independent of any specific programming language. So DOM is independent of any specific programming language. So there will be one M. So whatever. So this will be the answer for question number D, right? So not only with JavaScript we can able to modify the DOM, we can use some other language as well to do it. Now we will move to question number 4. So for the question number 4 is a bit tough, but if we practice, and if we learn and understand the basic of the HTML, CSS, this part is quite easier for them. So the space tech in an organization interested in space and technologies, it needs a new web page. So a wireframe and style guide had been provided. So this is the wireframe, right? So when a company, like the people who create the website, before that they create a wireframe similar like that, and then they show it to the client, right? So client will see it, okay, and then after they agree, they turn it to the code, so it will be easier, right? So the client can able to understand what the product they will get. So they will give you the same thing. That one is called a wireframe. So if you Google about the wireframe, you can able to see there's a lot of tools out there where you can able to drag and drop and design similar like that. So before starting coding, during the time of analysis in unit 3, we'll get the steps. So during that time you have to draw a wireframe. That is quite easier, so that the whoever ordered this product, ordered the website, they can able to see what will be the final product or get the idea, right? So this is the wireframe. So they have a banner at the top, and they have the navigation. They have one of the merge, like this looks like a button, and they have all the pictures will be here, side by side text and pictures, and there's a footer. So overall page requirement. So what is the overall page requirement? They said character set must be UTF-8. So UTF-8 is like they are converting our HTML code, right? So that the computer can able to understand in a simple word. Search engine should be able to show a description of the site. So we have to provide a description inside our meta tag. The HTML5 element to define the different parts of the page. So we have to use the HTML element, HTML5 elements, right? So there is a different version of a programming language, HTML1, 2, 3, 4. But currently each and every website is following HTML5. So we have to use the HTML5. Use a fixed page layout and use a external style sheet. So we have to use external style sheet and fixed page layout. Okay, so this one is already have in your specification. Go and search about what is the difference between fixed page layout and liquid page layout. Okay, so when it comes to fixed page layout, that means we will not focus on the responsive things. So we will not focus on the responsive part. So we only focus on the one view, right? So that means it will be break when we reduces the size of the browser. So, and because they said use a fixed page layout, so this one is not responsive. So what is responsive? Try to search in your Google. Okay, then they say that web page style guide. So the background of the page should be set to blue, which is this color. Font should be, all text should be set to Verdana. The color should be set to gray. All text should be center aligned for the font. Okay, then comes to the banner. Banner position as shown on the banner. Okay, the navigation bar is this, then the text and image, and okay, so we will start working on this one then. We will open which question for this one? They mention, yeah, question 4, right? Finish. Okay, so we will close this one, go to the 4 one, and this is the marks over. So I will rename this one, and what the name they wanted to give it, question 04 finished. Okay, so maybe I just copy this one, not rename, sorry, I want to copy this one. Copy this one, and I want to paste it here, and then I want to rename, which is a question 04 usage finished. Okay, so this is the file, And when we will try to insert the image, always follow that we can able to take the image from the assets, right? So we don't need to take out the image from the asset from in this folder. No, we have to insert the image based on the assets folder, so that the examiner can able to understand that we are taking the images from this asset folder, right? Okay, so this is the finished one. Now what we will do, this is the code, right? So they said, first of all we'll focus on, they said HTML5 an external sheet, right? So we have need to add an external sheet, but they don't have the external sheet. So inside there they said finish.css, we have to add an external sheet as well. So maybe we can use this one again. We can just copy these things, not this one, this one, copy, target this one, paste it here. Okay, so then rename. When you do the rename, during that time it will be the same, just instead of HTML we change it to CSS. That's it. So see the structure of the icon of the CSS change. So this one is the CSS, but CSS don't have the HTML code, right? Just remove these things, then done. So when we will focus this one. So what happened if we go at the top, they are providing the design, HTML tag, engine, right? So search engine should be able to show a description of the site, so we have to add a description of the site. So for that thing we will use meta, the same thing, the meta one, but we will change the little bit thing, so we'll copy and paste, right? So whichever the code is similar, try to copy and paste it. So here we will add name, another one will be the name, the other one will be the description. So inside the name we will add description, because they say that we have to provide a description. So when we provide the description, it will be better for the SEO purpose, right? So search engine purpose, it will be more it will be better for your website. Your website will be more visible to the people. So here we will add the content. So what will be the content for this one? Try to go to your website and try. So this one is a space and technology. Suppose this description will be space and technology. Okay, so this one is a space and technologies description. I think it's done. So we add the HTML. This one is represent HTML5, and then this one is represent that this is the language that we follow, which is English, and the title. So when I will run this one, the title will be visible on my tab, right? So when I will go live and start the writing, you can see this is the title we're getting, right? And this is whatever the body, whatever the things that we will write inside the body, it will be visible inside the DOM. So this one is the part of a header, so which is inside the body. Now if we go to the question, now we will go one by one. Okay, so we already know that we have a HTML start tag, end tag, head start tag, end tag, body start tag, end tag, right? They already provide us a option which is a header. So what we can do here, they provide a banner here, right? So banner should be this one. So we have to add an image here, right? So we can add an image, so that one will be image, right? So my one is automatic one, right? I create it automatically, so it just automatically take the tag. So try to write code by yourself. So this one is the image one. Okay, then we have to put the banner. So how can we identify what will be the banner? Because we are here, this one will be the assets, this one is the back, this is all the image, so this one is the background text. So what will be the banner? Did they mention about that? Okay, the background color of the page should be at this one. Banner image can be found in the position of the banner. Okay, so Okay, this one is the banner image. You already get it. This one is the banner image. So what we'll do, dot, and then click here, right? So you will get the folder of the assets. Asset. Now click asset and then image, right? Image, and then go to the banner. So I targeted the banner, and then when I will go to my, this one you can able to see, right? My banner is here, but what they're saying, the banner should be 1000 pixel width and 100 pixel height, right? So we have to add this one. So what we will do for this one, we will go to our class style, because we have the style sheet as well. So inside here we can use a class, okay? Class, and then we can add banner. Inside the quotation we will add banner, so it will be easier to, because they used to use the external sheet. So we'll take the banner, go to the CSS and try to add the CSS banner. We will add width, which is 1000 pixel. So when you use the pixel, that one is one of the fixed layout, right? One of the example of a fixed layout. But when it comes to responsive one, liquid, during that time we use percentage. So liquid, width is 100 pixel, 1000 pixel, right? Yes, it should be 1000 pixel, and this one should be 100 pixel. So we already write the code, and then when we go to the, so if we inspect these things, is it the same thing? I did able to get the, okay, they can't able to get the this one. Why? Because we didn't connect it, right? So we have to use a link tag. So when you use the link tag, there is a real style sheet and ref. Inside the ref we will add the style sheet name, which is question 04 CSS. Try to carefully write it down, because sometimes students they mistake it here, so that CSS is not working. So now I will inspect it here and able to see, okay, the width and height is working, right? So one things is done now. See, it is a fixed layout. So when I'm trying to reduces the size and increases the size, it's actually not giving a perfect website like a responsive one. Okay, so this one is done. So we completed the banner part. Banner part is done, right? Now there's a navigation bar. So we have to add a navigation bar, which is 1000 pixel and 50 pixel. They say navigation bar should be 1000 and 50 pixel. 1000 pixel width, 50 pixel height. Okay. So for the navigation bar, maybe we can use a semantic tag, right? Semantic tag. So if you consider the semantic tag is considered as SEO friendly, because they give you a different name for your different section, and beside that they also give you a well structured code, right? It is also readable, like if someone read your code, it is also readable if any of the application read your codes, like suppose some blind person, if they're uses any of the screen reader, it will be easier for that type of application as well to read the screen. So for that thing, for this one, when it comes to the upper part, we use header, right? Because we have a head one and image, so maybe we can use header here. So inside the header we will shift it there, right? This is a structure of a semantic way. Then when it comes to nav also have a tag which is like this. So we will add a nav tag. Now they're saying that the navigation bar should be 1000 pixel and 50 pixel. So what we have to do for the navigation bar, we'll go to the CSS and then we will create nav. Inside nav we will add width, because this is the same thing, just copy and paste it here, but the height should be 50 pixel, right? So when I will add the height to 50 pixel, you can able to see anything, because this one is white color. So suppose if I want to add a background color as a dummy one, okay, If I want to add background color as gray as a dummy purpose, oh sorry, because nave is a tag, right? Nave is not a class. So see, is it visible now? We already get a nave per. Okay. So in your exam, actually we don't know how the examiner will give you the mark, right? So some of the thing they will not give you the exact detail what you have to do. So what we'll do, whatever the design they will give us, we'll try to follow each and each pixel, okay? Each and each details, sorry. So for this one, we have another move merge rover page, this one. So merge inside the navigation bar, they said create the navigation bar as shown on the wireframe. So we already create the navigation bar. Create and style a hyperlink to open the merge hover.html as shown on the wireframe. Okay, so we have to open this one as shown on the wireframe. So what we will do for that thing, this one is the type of link, right? So when it comes to link, we will use an anchor tag, and inside the anchor tag we will use which one? Merge rover.html, merge hover. So that one is this one, right? Merge hover.html. And when we add it like this way, you can't able to see anything because we didn't put the name here. So what we will do here, I will add the name. So what the name I want to add here, which is a merge rover. Merge rover. Okay, then when I will save it, you can able to see there is some name out there, but it is not visible. Okay, maybe what I'll do, because you already see how the nave look like, so I just comment it out and then I will go here. This is the way, right? So now what I'll do, this one is the merge hover. If I go to the question, I can able to see, if I go up, I can able to see this is the part, right? And they have a, this one is merge hover rover page, merge rover page, which is looks like a button. So maybe I can go here and add a rover. I want to try, I just try to make it a similar like that way. And they didn't mention that you have to provide a gray color for your nav bar, but I just add it so that it looks like this one. And I want to make this one is exactly like this. So how I can make it exactly like this? To say the background color of the page set to blue and color should be set to light gray. So I can use this one as well. So first of all, this one is done. We are focusing on this one now. So we will focus on this part actually, how we can able to change it to this one. So for that thing, what we can do, suppose if we go to the exam, this is the one, right? But this one is still not visible. So this one is totally aligned, like there's no space there. So I want to provide a space here. So what I'll do, that one is the anchor tag, right? So I will add an anchor tag, and then I will add a padding left. Maybe I will add 10 pixel, and okay, so this one is done, 10 pixel. But if you notice in the pictures, they say that the background is a light gray and the word is in black and there is no underline, right? So I'll follow that one. I will add text decoration is none, right? When you add text decoration none, it will, you can able to see that there is no text out there. So now I will add the background color. So I will copy from up, and then I will go to the question paper and I copy the color, which is this one. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, because I got able to copy. Okay, and the color of the text is black. So I just added black like this. Now the issue is I need to make it center align, right? So how can I able to make it center align? So for that thing, what I have to do, Sorry, this one I put padding left, right? Okay, so for these things here I can use line height, maybe 50 pixel if I add how it looks like. Yeah, now it comes to the center, right? But still there is not that much space between these two. Because I want to make it like this. So maybe so instead of padding I can use margin. So maybe I can use margin here. Margin left 10 pixel. You can see now they are providing, but here and up and down I have to provide some of the padding. So for that thing I can use padding and then 10 pixel suppose if I add like this way. Yeah, so maybe I can just add only 10 pixel. It will take it all around. Try to make it a little bit less, maybe 5. Yeah, now it's a similar like this one, right? Now what we will do, this one is done, so we have to focus on this part. So they have this one and this one, right? So for these things what we will do, the part which is this one is one of the section, right? This one is a header, nav, this one is considered as a section. So we will go to this one and then header, nav, then we'll start with the section part. So when it comes to the section part, inside the section we have one option for the article and another one is the image. So for the article one we have a semantic tag already, which is the article that we will use, and when it comes to the image one we will use div tag, right? For remember one thing, for the image we use the grid one. In our specification we have the grid part as well, layout grid. So go to the Google or your notes and try to identify how the grid things work. Okay, so here for the images we have to use grid. So now in the article one what they have the header and then they have the paragraph. So based on that what we will do, inside the article first of all we will focus on the article, so we will use the header. So what will be the header? They provide the text, I think. Yes, background text. This is the text, but okay, space is interesting, right? So maybe I can just add it here, header, and then we will add p tag. So where they ask us to add this one, this all. So if I go here they have a space like this way, right? So maybe I can write it here and then just add br. So this one is done. Now when it comes to the image one, for the image now we have to include all the image. We will add, first of all we will add the class and then we'll provide the name, which is a image image container. Okay, and here we will add all the images that we have. So if you consider the image one, it looks like this, right? Then we can able to insert the data, which is assets. Then we'll go to the image one will be here. So for the alt we have to use the space image. So because that will be more readable, right? So when a screen reader application will read our website, they can able to identify, or they can able to read the images, which is a space image. Now we will copy the code and then the same code will paste it down. So there's all the images are there. So I think that one is done. Now if we go to the, we can able to see like this. So later we'll work with the CSS, but first of all we just structure it. Okay, so now if we go with the question paper, this one is done. Now we have to focus on the footer. So footer will be like this, which is 1000 into 100 pixel, right? And there will be one of the copyright space text. Okay, so we just add footer should be inside the body, right? Here we will add footer. Inside the footer we will add maybe p tag. So there we can add copyright space tag. Okay, and for the footer they say the height should be 1050 pixels. So we'll go to this one. For the banner one, just copy this one. And instead of banner, because footer is the tag name, so we'll use the footer, and 1000 height should be 50 pixel, right? 50 pixel. Yes, done. So footer is done. So footer is done, but you can able to see because we didn't use the gray thing. It's up to you. You can able to use the gray thing, otherwise also okay, because in the question paper they didn't mention. So what we will do, I just want to add the gray one as well, so it looks like the this. Okay, so this one, okay, so this one we have to take it to the center. How we can take it to the center? Which as usual, text align, which is center. Okay, center, and then it will be center. And how to be vertically center? For the vertical center we can use line height, which is maybe 50 pixel, right? Yes, now it's okay. If you look into, yeah, now okay. So this is the thing that we somehow completed, right? For the images, height and width, image was like, did I add the image? No, I didn't add the image. Okay, so we will go with this one now. The background color of the page should be set to blue. Font, all text should be to Verdana. So here we can use two options. One is universal and the other one is we can only use the body. So this one is up to you. And all text should be center aligned, right? So it will be better if we use universal, right? Because universal is represent as a default things. So it's up to you. You can also use the body, no issue. So maybe we can, okay, so it is okay, we can use body as well. Body will be a bit easier. Okay, so we will use body here. Okay, and then the inside the body we can able to use like the background color should be hash for f. Okay, so we'll add the background color, which is a hash, this one. Then text should be to Verdana. Okay, so that font, that one is a font family, should be Verdana. Okay, then Verdana color should be light gray. Okay, so we have to use the light gray color, this one. Okay, then the color should be light gray. All text should be center aligned, so that means there will be a text align option that should be center. Now if we go to our pictures, we can able to see this one, right? Now this one is done, this one all are done, right? Banner, position the banner as shown on the wireframe. The banner image can be found. This one also done. Navigation bar, create the navigation bar as shown on the wireframe. Create and style a hyperlink, right, to open as shown in the wireframe. This one also done, because if we click here, you can able to see this one is opening, but Okay, but the issue is why this one goes to the center. It goes to the center. It's because we use the body one, right? Okay, so we have to use here inside the nave. We didn't add. It should be text align left. So inside the nave we have to add, which is a text align left, right? So when we will add the text align left, it will go here. Is it okay now? Now this one also done. Text and images. So insert the heading space is interesting as shown on the wireframe. This one is done. Position the text and image as shown on the wireframe. The text and image can be found in the assets folder. Set an emphasis on the heading. So emphasis, we have to set an emphasis on the heading. This one we didn't add, and also we didn't follow this one as well, so we have to work on this one. Set an emphasis on heading. So what we'll do, we'll go to the this one, right? Emphasis means it will make it italic, em. So just copy this code and then cut it and then paste it. Okay, so when I'll save that one, that means we done this one as well. This one is done. But position the text and image. Now we have to position the text and image based on the picture. So this one is most important thing here in this question. So first of all, what we'll do, I already created a section, right? So for the section, I want to add 100%. So 100% means I will add all the view. I will take this one is 100%. So what I'll do, I will go here. Okay, then I will add the section, and here I will first of all I will set it to 100%. So 100% means it will take the whole width of my website. Okay, now I take the section which is 100%. So inside my section I have a two option. So here you can able to see by using this one, I have an article option and then I have an image container. I have an article and I have an image container. For the article, I don't have to provide any of the class name because this is the only one article tag that I use. So when I open this one, you can see inside my article, this is all the code I have. So what I'll do here, I will go with the article one. This is my article, okay? And this is my article. I want to close it down. This way you can able to divide or separate the code. This is my image container, right? And I want to create or I want to take another CSS option for my image container. So this is my image container. Now I will save it down. So what I will do for the article, dimension, the text area should be 500 into 500 pixel. This one also will be 500 and 500 pixel, right? So both will be 500 and 500 pixels. So we have to now work on this. So images this one is 500 and 500. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll go to the article and then we will add width, which is a 500 pixel, and then we will add the height, which is also 500 pixel, right? And the same structures will be followed by our image container as well. And then when I will go here, you can able to see now they provide some of the 50 pixel, sorry, 500 pixels, so it looks like this. Now we have to put it to the side by side. So for that thing, maybe I can use for right, I can use flat left. So when I use flat left, okay, so we use this code, and then when we go to the this one, now it looks like this, right? So we have to shift it to this one. So here, what for the article we did this one, and if we go to the question again, we can able to see this one, the text is center aligned, right? So maybe for the article we can also add text align, which will be center. So when it will be center, you can able to see the text is now center align, and they have a space. It is amazing during that time. So I want to make it like that one. So that's why where's the, yeah, this one, right? So here maybe I can add another beer so that there will be another space here. Maybe it looks good. Yes, now it's similar like this one, right? Yeah, this one maybe I can use another beer. Yeah, that was perfect. So this one we center align, and then I think it was okay, but now we will focus on the image container. So for the image, what we did, I already mentioned that for image container, we have to learn about the grid. So this one, if I refresh these things, sorry, I need to again start my server. 1 minute. Okay, so for the image, what we will do, we will add the display, which is an inline grid. Okay, so display should be inline grid. So in our syllabus we have both grid and inline grid, so try to read that things how it works. So it should be inline grid, and it will be similar now because when I add the inline, it just came above, right, after this one. So then we have to use a grid template column, this one. So if you use this one, auto and auto, because I want to add three column, right? So it will be like this. Now then what we will do, we will I actually don't want to add any gap here. Okay, so we also have to add the image size as well, right? So if we go here, we can able to see this is all the image. So inside the image container, we have the image tag. So this is all the image, and both image, the requirement for the question was, if you go here, they said all image should be 150 to 150 pixels. So what we will do, we just take only the image tag, right? We don't need to add any of the class name for that things. We just copy this one, copy this two, and then paste it here. Instead of 500, just change it to 150. This one copy, this one paste. Okay, so now my image should be, if we go there, and you can see the image is now 150. So here I already make this two side by side. Side by side is done. But now if I want to make it smaller, you can see side by side is done, but when it is in big screen, it becomes down, it goes down, so it is not still at the same things. So how we can able to make it side by side? So for that thing, maybe we can add here, which is a flat left, right? They use a flat left. is display block. Solution we came up, which is like if we try to make it small, it goes down, right? So now how we can solve this thing? So maybe here we have an option for 100, right? But we use for 500, 500 and 500. So in total we're using width, which is a 500 article and 500 of the image. So in total we're using 1000 pixel. So if we changes the section instead of percent to 1000 pixel, and then if you see, it will be workable now. Okay, so because it is not responsive, so it will be like that. So now we need one space at the top. So what we will go do, we'll go to this image container, and then we will add padding top. Maybe I will add 20 pixel. So when I will adding pad, it will take a space here. So this portion also needs some of this space, right? So maybe for this one we'll go to the article, and then padding left, not left, so it should be right, padding right should be 10 pixel. So when I will add padding right 10 pixel, because it takes more space compared to this one, section one that we mentioned, which is more than 1000. So that's why, because I add the 10 pixel, maybe we can add this one to 10 pixel more. Yes, now it will be working, right? So now it will be similar to this one. So that means we try to complete this one as well. We are trying to position that one. So for the footer part, insert the text, copy right space tag, that one is already included. Create an email link to the on the text to this one. So now we have to add an email link for this particular things. So how we can add a email link? For email link we have to add, which is a mail to, right? I think you already remember in your ICT. So ICT, they have that option. So maybe, so that means I use p tag, right? So instead of p tag I have to use anchor tag, because they used to use a mail. So for that thing we will use mail. If I go to the question, this is mail info. Okay, info at space. So we will add mail this one. Okay, and then we will just take this one, cut it down and just paste it here. I don't need to add the p. Then if I go to my question, I can see this is still here, right? Now the question is, this one already done. Create an email link, done. Style the text to be yellow, so for 00. So we have to go to here, and then for the footer, right? Because anchor tag, that we have two anchor tag, one anchor tag, this anchor tag. So that's why I want to add a class name, or maybe you can add ID. I can want to add class, which is a footer name. Maybe I can add here footer mail. Okay, and then I just want to add the name, and then maybe here color was yellow. You guys just try to paste it down, and it should be yellow. It's the same thing, right? Yes, so this one is done. So now if we go, this one is, but they I use okay, so this one I use, because if you are not using this one, then it was okay. So because I use this one as a background color, but that one is not necessary. So if you want, I just want to remove it down for you. Okay, oh sorry, I removed it from here. Where is my footer option? So after you complete all these things, try to match the footer, try to take the footer at the last, like this, and we have the background color, because they already provide a color. So yeah, so for the mail, the color is there. When I click, my mailbox is opening, right? So this is the end of question 4. Now we will move to question number 5. So this one is a mix of HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So question number 5 is like SpaceTech wants to expand the functionality of its website. So it wants to implement a filter that shows information about a selected planet. A login facilities, all of the required fields are applied in the question 5 folder. No additional resources are required. So you only need to add HTML, JavaScript and comment to the existing files. So that means when we will work with the JavaScript and HTML, during that time we have to comment so that the examiner can able to understand what that each of the code mean, right? So we have to open the full filter.html, contain an early prototype, complete the prototype to allow information about the planet to be shown when user select an option from the drop down list. It must include a placeholder on the box given the user instruction. So what is the meaning of placeholder? Like when you do some of the registration in a registration form, during that time we can able to see that some of the, like suppose if it is email and this is the input box, they give you an information like name at email.com, right? So when you put your cursor here, during time this one will become invisible. This one is called placeholder, right? That erase this one and then you can type your word. So they give you an example about what will be the correct input here. Okay, so allow the user to select a planet from the drop down list. So we can able to select the value from the drop down list. Show the information about the selected planet in the box. So we have a box in the text area where we will need to provide the information. So this one will be filter, right? Filter.finish. So if I go to question number 5, this one, so again I will copy this one and I will target and then paste it here. It should be filter dot finish.html. Okay, so this one is done. So first of all, if we go with the code now, we can able to see how everything is working. So they provide a title, that one is false under header, right? And this is the script. So this is the function. They provide the parameter, which is a planet selected, and they target the element of the HTML, which is planet info, this one. So in this element, in this text area, they are assigning all the value. So planet info dot value, so this one is planet info and then dot value equals to, right? So planet info dot value equals to planet area. So this one is the planet info ID and then get element by planet info dot value equals to planet area, and this one is the index, right? Planet area is considered as an array and they're providing whatever the parameter we're taking, we provide it to here. So where we are calling this show planet, we are calling in this on change. So when it comes to drop down, we use instead of on click, we use on change, right? And this one is the show planet, and here we are able to see planet dot value. So you can see here, this one is the planets dot value. So this is the planet, right? And the dot value whatever the value we're choosing here, it is assigning that particular number to this one as an argument, and then as a parameter they take planets dot value, like suppose it's 0, it is showing the 0 1. So here we have to add the code base for planet array, right? So we all know that array is always start with 0. Array always start with 0. We'll start with the first point, which is it must include a placeholder on the box giving the user instruction, right? This one. So how we will work with that thing, the box, which is this one, text area, right? So here we have to add a placeholder. So we can add a placeholder like this way, and inside the string or inside the quotation, so inside the quotation we will add the information, suppose the information about the planet will show when you have selected a planet. That's it. So now if I go to the live portion, if I load it to the browser, you can able to see this is the placeholder, right? So now when I click here and I want to write something, it will replace that information. So that is the task of the placeholder. So placeholder will able to show you the information, what will be done for this, like why this text area, like how they will use the text area. Okay, so that's why they provide you information. So when you select this one from here, you can able to see the information based on your selected option. Okay, so now we don't have any array, right? So if you notice here, this is the on change, right? So they are putting the value here, so planet dot value, and then this is all the option. So whatever the option they will provide, based on that it will give us the information. So if we go to the planet facts, this there we'll get all the information. So now here what they're doing, they're equal, right? They're equaling the planet info dot value equals to planet array, which is whatever the value we are selected. So we are selected this value, so based on that the array is getting the identification, right? So suppose what we have to do for that thing, we have to create, first we have to create an empty array, because if I am not selecting anything during that time, this one will be empty. So when you want to create an empty array, because this one will be the array, this one is a planet and they use as third bracket, right? So this one is considered as an array, so we will use this one, planet array. So when we will initiating, when at the first time when we're declaring the array, during that time we have to use var, or it can be const, right? So planet array equals to, I will use the third bracket, but it should be empty. So this one is considered as a empty array. Then when it comes to 0, it will give you the value for the Mars. For that thing, what we can do, we will add the planet, and then we will target to 0. Like when I will get the value 0, during that time I will call this one Mars, right? Because this one is the Mars. So this one is actually text, so I will use quotation. Quotation means this one is in a string. Okay, now this one is done. So same thing, I will copy these things because they have from 0 to 4. So I will add 2 3 4 5. So here it should be 1, here it should be 2, this one will be 3, and this one will be 4. Okay, so we are assigning the number based on the value. So then we will copy all these things. So second one will be the Jupiter, then the third one will be Venus, then the fourth one will be Mercury, then the fifth one will be Neptune. Okay, this one. So now we can able to get the value. So here remember one thing, when it comes to array, suppose this is my array that I declare var array equals to, here I will provide the name which is A, B, C and D. Okay, so both are string, so that's why I have quotation here. Now if I want to identify, or if I want to get the data for the B, how I can able to do it? Because array will always start with 0, 1, 2 and 3. So for that thing I have to add, if I add or if I print array 1 here, then I can able to get this one, right? This way we can able to print the data inside the array. So here I did the same thing. What I did, first of all, I just assign the array which is in empty array, and when it comes to 0 it will show this one, it will show this, right? It will be easier for you to understand. When it's 4 it will be this, and this is all the value, right? So here they are targeting document.place element get element by id planet info. So in this one they will assigning the value. So when the value will be this one equals to, it will select these things. So this one should be, if the value is 0, here it should be 0, right? And then based on that we will get the value for the Mars. So when I save it to here, and then I will go here, suppose now if I add the Mars, now it changes based on my drop down, right? So when I will go to my question, so this one is done, right? Show the user to select a planet from the drop down list. This one is also done. Show the information in the box. This one is also done. So they said you must add suitable comment to your code to explain how it works. So you have to add a suitable code here. A comment, not the suitable code, should be suitable comment. So you already write the code, but we didn't describe any of the comments here. So first of all we have to tell this here, what is the meaning of a planet array, which is empty. So here we declare an array, declare an empty array, you can write. Array to hold the planet facts, right? So mark it down and control right slash, done. And here they are providing the information. So here you can write add details about the planet based on selected value, right? That's it. So now again comment it down. So this 2 is done. Then maybe if you want you can also add here, that one is considered as a drop down. This one is a text area, right? It's up to you, because I did the code here, so I just commented this one. You can add more comment, less comment, is up to you, but must provide the comment. We'll continue with the login part, which is a login HTML contains an early prototype. Complete the prototype. It must only accept username, which is user, and password, which is 1234, as an authorized user. If the user is authorized, display a successful login message, redirect to success.html, right? Then, if the user is not authorized, allow up to 3 login attempts, display a suitable error message showing the number of attempts remaining. Disable the form after 3 unsuccessful login attempts. You must add suitable comments to your code to explain how it works. So save your file as loginfinish.html. So I already created a file. So I want to go live and see how it looks like on the browser. So this is the UI for this particular question. So nothing is working. So if I suppose user and then I add something like that, nothing is working, right? So if we go to the code, we can able to see that they uses a field set. So inside the field set, they use 2 different type of username and password. We use field set to give a totally different, like they will automatically give you a border, so that it will give you that separate section, right? For the username and password, they will give a different UI so that people can able to understand that this particular field and enter username and password is considered as a different section. That's it. Then input, consider the input type button, right? So this one they are considered as a button. This one is the button, which is a login one. Okay, now they have a function here which is on click, right? So in the button, when we click something, do that particular event is called on click event, right? So we can use on click event to run this function. So when we will click on the button, this check login function will work, but they didn't add any of the logic inside this check login function. So what we have to do, we have to create a function here for this check login function. We have to create the code here. So first of all, we have to identify how this code will work. So for that thing, maybe we will came up some of the imagination, how can we build this code, right? So they said only accept username and password as an authorized user if the user is authorized, right? So it will check the particular user and password is correct or not. So it will check, right? If it comes to if, that means this is a part of a selection. So that means we have a option for if. So if they will check the username should be this user, right? So they already provide you the variable name, which is the username only accept username user. So maybe I can write it like this way. It should be if then username equals to user, right? User. Now tell me one thing, I use 1 equal. It will not work with 1 equal. We have to use 2 equal to identify is the username is user or not, right? So if the username is user and, right, because both need to be correct, and the password is 123, then they will assign them to the login purpose, which is a successful message will come and redirect to success.html page. Otherwise, else it, right? So else, if the user is not authorized, then they will give them three attempts to try the password, right? So what happened, there will be another condition will be there. Suppose this will be another condition. In this condition, the user can able to check the atom, is the attempts is 3 times or not, right? So attempts will be less than 3. Allow up to 3 login attempts, then display an error message showing the number of attempts remaining. So that means at the first time when the user will try to log in, during that time if they uses false username and password, they will provide that one is wrong and also show that your 1 attempt is done. So the remaining attempt is 2 attempts left, right? Then Again, second time, third time. When it will go to the third time with the unsuccessful login attempts, during that time, the form button, the submit button, right? Yes. Disable the form after 3 unsuccessful login attempt. So it will be disable. So we can able to disable the form as well. Maybe we can, but we will disable this login button. Okay, so this way we have to do the work. So what I have to do, that they already give one of the thing, which is like they're checking the username. They're checking that username is one of the variable and password will be another variable, right? So first of all, I have to take the username and password variable. So I will take username and password variable, but they already also say that they have a valid username and password, which is a password 123. This one I also have to input inside one of the variable. So here we will use const valid, right? Const valid username equals to user, which will be in the quotation. Why we use const, not the var? Because before we use var. So when you use var, it can be changes, right? So suppose if I use var x equals to 3, and suppose this is the line 1, and in line 15 I again assign x equals to 4, so it will replace this 3 to 4. But if you use const variable and you assign 3 to this one in line 1, and when you goes to line 15 you want to replace this x with some other number, like suppose x equals to, if I want to add x equals to 15, then it will throw an error, right? It will show that x variable is already assigned before. So because of the validation purpose, the user and password will be always be 123, password 123, and username will be user. That's why we use const, so that in futures people can able to change this variable to other variable name. Okay, and then we will add const valid password equals to, what was the password? Password is password 123, right? So we will add password 123. So it's done. So this two valid password and username and password I already declared. Now there is one thing I have to also identify how many attempts they are trying it, right? So I will start with the attempt 1. So that means when they try at the first time, during that time it should be the attempts 1. The attempts will be changeable, right? So when I will write the function during that time, the attempts will be changeable based on the user input. If they input 3 or 4 2 or 3 times wrong, then it will be, maybe first time they input a wrong username and password, during that time it will change to 2, right? So that's why we have to use the var, because this attempts variable will be changes in futures. So that's why attempt should be attempts equals to 1. This is the valid things that I just write it down. Then we will focus on the function. Our function is check login function. So how to write a function? When we want to write a function, we have to write the function first, function, and then the function name, which is a check login, right? This one, this one, and then this one is the check login function. After that, what we'll do, we have to take whatever the user will input in this field, in this input, right? Username and password, I have to take it down in my JavaScript variable. So that's why I will, another time I will declare a variable, and then how can I target that particular input that is the user will provide, which is use document dot, because they have the ID, right? Document dot get element by ID. This one is username. So this is input username, and then I will submit it here. Okay, so this one is input username, and then I will take the value. So input username dot, it should be dot value. So whatever the user will write, the input value will be stored inside the username. And because if you want to see, I can give you a demo, which is like if I create a console log, and then for the username, right? So whatever I will write in this particular box, enter username, it will store in this username variable. You can see this one. So suppose if I go to this console log and I will go to the console, you can able to see, suppose this is the enter username, right? Whatever I will write here, I will click the login, and then you can see username WSSTD, right? So whatever I am writing here, it is storing here as well in the variable username. And when I click on this button, during that time this function is calling, right? So that's why they can able to identify whatever things I'm writing here, it is storing in this variable. So the same thing I will do inside the password as well, right? So I will add password and get, that one will be input password. This is the ID name, right? ID name. Then I will save it down. So why I need to create another variable name? Because whatever the user will input inside the text box, I need to take the data and input inside this variable, so that during the time of checking, I can able to check this variable to this variable. So that means here the selection coding will came up, which is if username, right, username equals to because they are checking, if username equals to valid username and password equals to valid password, then they will able to give us the access, right? So for that thing, we will add window dot location dot assign. So remember one thing, when you use remember dot assign, it will shift us, or it will transform us from one page to another, which is like they said they already have this one, success.html. So inside the quotation we'll write success.html. okay, then we have to came up with the attempt function. Suppose if they came up with the attempt things, so here in total we will working with the three logic. So first of all, which is like if it's successful, they will shift it to success.html page, and then there is another attempt, which is like we will give the user a number of time they can able to try it, right, if it's wrong. So that's why it's a more than 2, that's why else if will came up. Now else if, so during the time of else if, we will check the attempts must be less than 3, because the highest number is 3, so it should be less than 3. Allow logins allow up to 3 logins. Okay, question they said up to 3, so it should be less than and equal 3. Okay, so when it is else if atom will be less than and equal 3, in your merge scheme they use a less than, but I think it's not correct. I think it's not correct, it should be less than and equal. So now we will add alert, and inside the alert I will add like either username or password is not correct, okay, and this is your, and this is your renaming attempts. Okay, so remaining attempts, how we can able to identify the remaining attempts? DMP. That one is we have to create a concatenation, right? That one is this one, and then this atom we have to post it here, and then this is the one time. So how we can increment? For increment we have to use again atoms, and for the increment we use plus plus. So when they will one time they will add a wrong password and username, then it will show the message and increases the atom to +11, which is if the first one is 1, then the second one will be 2, right? It will increase to 2. Now we'll came up with the else, and inside the else we will use alert. The same thing, just copy it here, and then you can use your number of atoms, your login details. Suppose your login details is incorrect, correct, and your login details is incorrect, and you completed the remaining attempts. That's it. Okay, remaining attempts. So I just want to add anything. That one is done. Then here they say that at the last they will disable the form, right? So for that one, if I disable the form, there is nothing to show that, like they didn't mention you any of the color or anything. Like when in real life, when it is disabling the form, they turn it to a little bit gray color, so it will be quite harder. For that things, I think it will be easier if you just disable the button. So for that thing, what we will do, we will document dot get element by ID. Then what will be the button name? This one is ID, right? Submit. So we have to catch this button by using this ID. So we will use the ID here, and we use the quotation, right? Quotation. Then this one is one of the things that we use to modify the style, so which is a disable, which will be equals to true. So when it will be true, it will be disabled. Okay, so now this one is done. So we will check it to our website. Now if I write the user and PASSWRD password 123 and I try to log in, see it shift me here, so that means that one is correct. Now if I go back and then I again want to use wrong password and wrong username, and I want to log in. Okay, so this one, yeah. So if I write something wrong, that one is showing that this is not correct. So first time atoms 1, so it increases atoms 2, right? And I again, if I change it, atoms 3. Now if I again try, your login detail is incorrect and you completed the remaining atoms. Okay, so now it's become gray, so I can't able to click the login button. So this is the end of this question as well. Now what we have to do, which is like we have to do some of the comment here, right? How we can able to comment. So this one we have to do some commenting. Okay, so now I will write all the comments. So like here I will add one of the comment, which is this two. I want to add a comment which is declare constant or variables. For this one I am store the valid username and password. This one I will comment it out, so that initialize a variable to keep track of login attempts. And then this one is I am defining a function here, right? So that's why I will defining a function to check the user login credentials. And then here what I'm doing in these two codes, get the entered username and password value from the input fields. And then for this one I'm checking, right? For this one, check if the entered username and password match the valid credentials or not. Then this one here, if the credentials are incorrect and attempts are within the limit, this one is checking in this portion. And then this one is the increment. You can also write it down. This is the increment, that is increases the attempts. And this one is disable the button, right? Yeah, so this is the end of question number 5b, I think, right? So we already created a successful message. This one is done. If user is not authorized, 3 attempt done. Suitable message 0, that one also done. Yeah, comment, add a suitable control code, explain how it works, that one also done. So this question is, theory question, which is saying the Web Accessibility Initiative, accessible rich internet application, can be used to provide additional semantic and improve the accessibility of a web page. So open file 6.html in your editor, read the HTML carefully. Access how well semantic code and area have been used to support accessibility of the web page. You may use the example from the code or line numbers to support your assessment. So the thing is that this one is a totally theoretical question, and they give you one of the code, so which is this one, and this code you have to go through it, how each and everything is working, because they use semantic. When it comes to semantic, header, nav, main, this is one of the part of a semantic, right? Readable HTML they provide. And the area, like if you notice, this one is the area true, this one is the area hidden true, so similar like that. So the people who can able to see, they can use a screen reader, and the screen reader can able to read the website. Suppose if I go to this one and I want to see how it looks like, then you can able to see this one is looks like this. Apply online, enter your details below. They have all the things, and they have provide the star, which is represent that you must have to provide the number here. And they also have different as field set, right? Inside they provide a radio button, so that the people who is not can able to see, they can able to understand, okay, this is a separate area. And they also provide a drop down similar like that. And then when I go to the code, I can able to see that this is the visually hidden unstyled list. Like for the area is true, that means you can able to see it. Something they make it hidden as well, so that during the time when an application or software will read the screen or read the web page, so that time they won't need to read that particular things. So that's why they use the hidden portion as well. Okay, so that one is a proceed. Submit is a proceed. Yeah, so the thing is here, what they're doing to ensure accessibility for all users, particularly those using screen readers, several important factors must be addressed, right? So one of the thing is like blind users may not want every element of a web page read aloud. They require the ability to navigate efficiently and skip through section, right? Some of the section they want to skip. That's why they use the hidden option here. Semantic HTML plays a vital role by providing meaningful labeling of elements, right? For header, nav, similar like that, and offer context to screen reader, making it easier for the user to understand the structure and purpose of the web page. Whereas area supplements semantic HTML in situation where built-in semantic are inefficient, like some of the portion they added a star, which is a true, right? So that means you must have to input the value in this particular field. So proper use of tags such as header, footer, main, and nav ensure clear navigation. Additionally, structures heading H1 and H2 allow user to skip directly to desired section, while attribute like area hidden ensure non-essential elements are ignored. Using fill set and listen, like they also have a fill set like listened and fill set, right? So informs gives context to related input, while area required and area described by guide users through forms effectively. So this one is proceed by. Hidden elements like data format instruction is styled with visually hidden class. So provide essential information to a screen reader without overwhelming sight. Like this one is visually hidden. So what does it do? If I click here and then I can want to see why it is using here in format, this one. So this one is visually hidden, but when application or maybe the software will read, it will read this one as well. So the people who can able to see, they can able to identify. Okay, that way they have to write, right? Okay, so this one is visually hidden. Okay, so that one is a visually hidden. Okay, so the user can able to see, and also it will be read for the blind people as well. Okay, the thing is that then you have to came up with a consideration, so which is like the best demonstrate a strong implementation of accessibility principle across semantic, HTML, and area. Semantic is extensively used to structure the page and provide clear context for user, right? Enabling intuitive navigations and comprehension. So area attributes are thoughtfully applied, such as area hidden to declutter screen reader output and area required to mark mandatory field. This enhancement work quite, that one is quite, they are actually working in a pair so that people can able to understand. So something the semantic can able to give you, that one is covered by the area. However, there are areas for improvement. For instance, the password field lacks explicit. If you want to provide any of the improvement, then you can able to provide the improvement as well. So we have to write the answer for this question. Answer for this question that I already described. So go through it and try to identify how I write this answer. Okay. So this is the end of question unit 2. Please subscribe to my channel and message me if you get any of the issue or if you want to ask any question. Thank you.